Good morning, everybody. It's 10 o'clock. We'll call the meeting to order, and we need to move item 11 up first where our council can get out of here, and it is the recent received ordinance introduced on December the 12th, 2014 council meeting in reference to personnel retirement system amending the municipal code. And Wiley, would you like to discuss that with us, sir, right quick? Tell us why we got to do it.
Well, we have to do it, or our plan would be subject to IRS challenge of our tax-exempt status. What it is, the IRS rules and regulations as a result of the Windsor case and a recent 10th Circuit decision declaring Oklahoma's NOMA law unconstitutional. We now have to comply with the IRS regulations that says we have to recognize same-gender marriages. However, this 10th Circuit decision is different from a 6th Circuit decision, and that whole issue may eventually wind back up at the Supreme Court. So we've created language working with the tax lawyers and Renee that gives us flexibility either way how that comes down. Okay. So. But right now, the 10th Circuit rule is the law in Oklahoma. There is no prohibition against same-gender marriages.
Okay. Motion been made. Are there a second? Second. All those in favor signify by aye. Opposed, same sign. Ayes have it. Thank you, sir. Okay. And he had to go to another meeting. Item 2 on the agenda is elect a chairman for the term January 1, 2015 through December 31st, 2015. Any other nominations? Any other nominations? Any other nominations? Okay. All those in favor, aye. Opposed, same sign. Okay. Item 3 is elect a vice chairman for January 1st, 2015 through December 31st, 2015.
Absent any term limit requirements, I nominate Ken Culver.
Any other nominations? Any other nominations? Any other nominations? All right, I don't hear any. All those in favor signify by aye. Same sign. Ayes have it. I guess, Ken, me and you are in the barrel one more year. I know it. Dynamic duo. All right. Item 4 is approve the minutes of the meeting of November 13th, 2014. Motion been made and seconded. All those in favor signify by aye. Opposed, same sign. Ayes have it. Item 5 is to receive. There's 2 items: the IRS determination letter and then the report of the judgment. Motion been made. Are there a second? All those in favor signify by aye. Opposed, same sign. Ayes have it. Item 6 is approve the claims docket. Motion been made. Are there a second? All those in favor signify by aye. Opposed, same sign. Ayes have it. Item 7 is ratify the approval of the payroll for the month of this date, which would be. Motion been made and seconded. All those in favor signify by aye. Opposed, same sign. Ayes have it. Item 8 is approve the following applications. There are 4 of them. Motion been made. Are there a second? All those in favor signify by aye. Opposed, same sign. Ayes have it. Item 9 is receive the report of death and authorize the payment of $5,000 benefit and authorize the secretary to make the necessary changes to conform to the following. Motion been made. Are there a second? All those in favor signify by aye. Opposed, same sign. Ayes have it. Item 10 is receive the report of death and authorize the secretary to make the necessary changes to conform to the following. Motion been made. Are there a second? All those in favor signify by aye. Opposed, same sign. Ayes have it. Next item is item 12, and Andrew, you are on, sir.
Morning, everybody. I've been respectfully asked to be a little bit brief today, and that's easy because it's actually very good news. Good report today. Just quickly on the monthly report, economic environment, big picture, everything's really been improving. First quarter, we had negative GDP growth. Second quarter numbers are about 4.9% growth. Third quarter, we're in that 4% range as far as estimates go. So good news there, and it looks to be solid momentum moving into 2015. On top of that, the employment picture really continues to improve throughout the year. 241,000 new jobs added per month through November on average, which is the most jobs added in the United States since 1999. So concerns on the unemployment front are underemployment and lower wages, but it's good to see these high growth numbers, and the unemployment rate at 5.8% through November is the highest the lowest in 6 years. Plenty of concerns in the non-U.S. Japan's in recession right now, lower wage growth, lower consumption there. Europe has some deflation issues. It's all impacted the equities within those countries. So you'll see that non-U.S. investments have not done as well as U.S. investments this year. To that end, just how this has all impacted the financial markets, for a globally diversified portfolio, 2014 was a little bit more of a rough year, and that shouldn't be too surprising after the 2013 of exceptional growth that we saw. Equities year-to-date, sort of a mixed bag. U.S. large caps have been sort of the exception, up about 14% year-to-date through November, whereas U.S. small caps up about 2%. So all positive equity growth within the United States, but a big dispersion between small cap up only 2%, large cap up 14%. On the non-U.S. front, that's where there's been a little bit more dispersion. Developed non-U.S. negative about 2% year-to-date through November. So that surrounds the issues that I just sort of hit on, Europe and Japan having some issues. That's developed non-U.S. Emerging markets have kind of been the flip side, and we'll recall we added the emerging market allocation in 2013. That was bad timing at first, but emerging markets have flipped. Year-to-date, they're positive 2.5%, so by no means exceptional growth, but they are outperforming developed markets. So it's been a solid addition to the portfolio. And the particular manager that we chose, Von Tobel, has done outstanding versus the index. Briefly on the fixed income, it's been a great year for fixed income. It's a safer asset class. People have taken, largely speaking, assets out of the riskier equity asset class and into fixed income. Interest rates have come down throughout the year, so we keep hearing about speculation of interest rates going up. Rates have actually come down throughout the year. The Barclays aggregate is up 6% year-to-date, which is exceptional for bond growth. So that all being said, surrounding interest rates, as the economy continues to gain traction, things are getting more and more healthy. It is not out of line to expect the Federal Reserve to raise interest rates at some point, but that is why the portfolio is positioned accordingly. We added that Brandywine global position within the fixed income. That is a position that is not very interest rate sensitive. So you'll have your core bonds at least temporarily lose value when rates go up, but that portion of the portfolio, the Brandywine, should fight off most of that, sort of hedge out the interest rate risk. To the portfolio really quickly, the front page of the monthly handout here. Just look at the graph at the top, asset allocation, and then you can see on the numbers down below, the gray bars sort of highlight the main asset classes: equity, fixed income, real assets. And you can see the over-under, our target, nothing standing out too substantially there, so everything's in line, first of all. And second of all, just looking at the asset allocation, you keep in mind that asset allocation is going to really explain the majority of your performance. So when I just talked about large caps so far this year being up in that mid-teen range, fixed income being up in the middle single digits, where on the flip side you have small cap equities, international equities, and long short equities up in the low single digits, you right there have a pretty good sense of where the portfolio is going to stand year to date, and that is sort of lower growth.
Andrew, question, please. On the U.S. small mid and the long short, it looks like our allocation is getting right at the upper range, right at it.
Yeah, so the long short is the target's 10, so we're right there on long short. But we did look at that. The small cap, one of the managers, Ernest, has had a very good year so far, and that's caused that to creep up. So yeah, we'll definitely take a look at that at rebalancing at the end of the year. That'll be one of the priorities that we look at because we have a 15% upper range on that.
Yeah, really that one, not so much the long short.
Right. Flipping the page to the portfolio, this shows the major asset class composites. And really the main story here, the portfolio is at $663.5 million. That's up from $630 million at the end of the year. It's been a slower year, as I alluded to, but you're still meeting objectives. That 7.5% actuarial objective. 1, 3, and 5 years the 3-year at 12.6% annually, and 5-year at 10.4% annually. That is pretty exceptional growth on an annualized basis. So you're meeting objectives over 1 and 3 years, also beating the policy benchmark. That 10-year number, the markets, that still includes 2008, so the markets haven't quite allowed to get up to that 7.5%. 5-year, you can see very slightly lagging the policy index. That is a function of this portfolio having a pretty substantially lower risk profile than the policy index, with the long-short piece in there to protect more on the downside. No concerns with any individual managers. I did want to point out in the trailing year, Singular Guff in the private equity bucket, 18.4% has been the increase there in private equity, so a really good year on that front. That's really all I had, the short and sweet there. If there's any questions, happy to address those.
Mr. Chairman,
Go ahead, sir.
I'd like to know what impact you think the price of oil is going to have,
Sure.
either up or down.
All right, well, it's already impacted. You said just today it's at a 5-year low, and equities took a pretty hard hit with it yesterday, so businesses are tied to it. Large indexes are tied to it, and all of your U.S. investment managers have pretty solid energy exposure, some more than others. Some growth managers have more exposure there than value managers. But largely speaking, it's beginning to get to the point where it's good for the consumer, but it's bad for the energy sector. There's a lot of exposure in the portfolio, not a lot, but a decent amount of portfolio exposure to the energy sector. That being said, on the flip side, lower energy prices are going to help other businesses be able to operate much more efficiently. So it's sort of wishy-washy on how it will affect investments, but the economy as a whole is certainly something to keep an eye on as far as dragging down the energy sector, which has its hands in a lot of different other sectors.
Okay, so in spite of what we're seeing with oil, you're still optimistic?
In the long term, optimistic, yeah. I mean, oil will turn around. This is, by most people's opinions, a more short-term event. But there's a lot of consumption issues out there. China's slowing down. They're a huge oil consumer. That has a lot to do with it. And there's a lot of supply out there. And as you've seen, the supply more recently has not been cut. The U.S. just released supply numbers that were a lot higher than they thought they were. So it could be a prolonged short-term situation, but I don't think anyone expects oil prices or energy prices to stay this low for the long term.
Any other questions? All right, sir. Thank you.
Great. Merry Christmas to you all.
Same to you, sir. Okay, item 13, any comments from board members or staff? I just want to thank you for electing me back again as chairman. I'll do the best I can do for you guys. Appreciate that.
Mr. Chairman, you done it last week, really made you look good.
Did it?
Else you want to say?
No, I don't think I do. I don't see anybody wearing that. You don't have that color on. So you should have been sporting your color today, and then we would have said something. Yes, ma'am.
And just a reminder that next month's meeting will be in the city clerk's conference room.
City clerk's downstairs, second floor.
Huh? Downstairs.
Be in the second floor on a January meeting.
We won't know that until they post the, right, 1.6, 1.7.
Yeah, somewhere in there. Won't know until after the first year.
The with oil keep falling, that's going to drive the index down. So it's the major influence. Yes, it has a downward trajectory at this point.
Right. Okay, has anybody got anything else? Anything else? We'll wish all of you a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. And, of course, what this man was talking about is the slaughter at Norman. He thought, well, he said it was a slaughter. They ran right down there and... Do we kick? That's all I want to know. Do we kick again? Yeah, I know it. Okay, if not, we're adjourned at 10:14, and thank you all so much.